Welcome to the Scottie and Sylvia show. We are best friends who keep our finger on the pulse of the culture. I'm Scottie Beam.
And I'm Sylvia Obell. And on this show, we talk about it all, from our favorite actors to our favorite affirmations.
From Black joy to Black drama.
And just a sprinkle of Caucasian chaos every now and again.
Welcome to the Scottie and Sylvia show, where we speak our minds like it's our full-time jobs and have so much fun doing it. I'm Scottie Beam. I am butt naked, bald in the eyeballs right now. I have no eyelashes, I have a hat on and some bamboo earrings, and I am representing still Jamaica. I don't have it, guys. I will have it next week, where we will have it together. I will have my eyelashes and everything, but today, look at my nails. All right, go ahead, Sylvia.
You want me? And I am Sylvia Obell. And I too am just, I'm tired. I'm really, really tired. To quote the prolific housewife, Nene Leakes. I'm just like, when she was like, I'm just tired. I'm really, really tired. Like, my body doesn't know what time zone it's in. My nails look like this. I'm missing.
This is embarrassing.
I can't even believe I'm showing y'all this. I'm ashamed. I have a
don't
nail
have
appointment
nothing.
later today.
God bless you, sis. That's
that I'm
great.
hoping I have the energy to make, because, I also woke up to a plumbing issue in my apartment. So, your emails will find me like this, not well. Everybody who's emailing me this week, and I hope this email finds you well. It won't.
Sylvia.
So
Okay.
pray for us. That's where we're at. So, hey, friend. Hey, friend. I already know how we doing this week. So let's get into it.
You.
Okay. We kind of did that in the intro because we're just,
This is what you're gonna get.
This is the reality.
This is what you're gonna get
this
today.
This is not what you don't see on Instagram. You understand?
Right.
In between the cute posts, it's this.
Yes.
It's this. It's us. We're human.
Oh God. Right. And I am so behind on posts.
So behind.
You guys will see me in Mexico for the next 3 weeks.
Yes.
Okay?
I want y'all to know that we are home. For those watching on YouTube,
we are home.
Will see. I know it's hard to know our location. Our own producers weren't quite sure where we were at today. And so I get it that y'all must be confused as well. We are in our respective homes. And the news cycle has been very busy while we've been away. And I've seen that a lot of people have been saying that over the internet. Like, I've seen a lot of, from celebrities to influencers, trying to figure out, what is what and where and how to lend their voices and lend their platforms. We saw that more than 50 celebs have asked President Biden for a ceasefire in this intensifying conflict. The group is called Artists for Ceasefire. It includes entertainers like Quinta Brunson from Ab Elementary, Io from The Bear, Dominique Fishback from Swarm, Mahershala Ali, needs no introduction, Jessica Chastain.
That's my girl.
One thing about that, Jessica.
Oh, Jessica gonna be on the right side of history every time.
She really gonna speak out. They are part of more than 50 celebrities who are who are asking the president to encourage a ceasefire between Israel and the Hamas, who are the terrorist group within Palestine, who should not be confused with Palestinians. The misinformation going around about which particular bombing was done by which particular group. It's almost like, not even almost like, I really much believe that we are watching
genocide,
but also people taking advantage. Genocide, and people taking advantage of how easy it is to misform the public because of X and like social media, and how it's easy to now not be clear about who's verified, who's the right source, what's a blog, what's a news outlet. And we see people taking advantage of it to kind of spread their agenda and take advantage of people's grief, which is disgusting.
I agree. I've always been free Palestine, 100%. Gonna stand on it. Been that for a very long time. Also, if this isn't like a textbook case of genocide, I don't know what it is. Like, I was reading a few articles about what genocide actually looks like and trying to make sure that what we're witnessing right now equates to what the actual definition is. And it is.
Yeah.
So I will say that. I'm also watching a lot of people who are vocal about this genocide lose their jobs for taking a stand. I'm watching a lot of Black women and also people of color lose their jobs for taking a stand and speaking out against genocide.
Yeah.
I just
it's like you would think we would be able to at least agree that the loss of innocent lives and this magnitude is not
these are
right.
babies that are dying.
It's not right.
There are tons of children that are dying, tons of women that are dying. But I would just say, like, please just read a book.
Read a book. Get the nuance of it.
Before we let the tweets off and you start trying to do shit just for retweets because you know you now have these ad things on Twitter. You have to pay attention to that too, guys. There are people who are subscribing to Twitter so that they can receive money for viral tweets. So they are saying ignorant shit that's wrong, shit that they can't even you can't fact check because there are really a lot of
nuances,
misconceptions about what's going on, and
they're dangerous. They're dangerous.
It's so scary.
It's so scary. Like to see even in the news that Muslim boy who was killed by their landlord, the mother and son, like down to, and then this synagogue leader woman who was killed as well. Like it's dangerous. Everything is dangerous, and it's like
and people's understanding of what Hamas is and actually it not equating to the people of Palestine.
Absolutely, that is such a clear.
I think that is it is fucking Twitter up. It's fucking internet up. And I truly, I would love to talk more about it. But yeah.
Hate.
I'm praying. Well, speaking of people that we're praying for, I'm gonna pray for my girl Britney Spears because she's about to put out the best tell-all book to ever come out this year. Okay? My girl is speaking out. Finally. And finally, I get to learn about this Justin Timberlake because
the more you think about it,
something in the water. Something. I knew it. I felt it in my spirit. I felt it, and that's why he was never my favorite in NSYNC.
No, well, real ones know JC.
Shout out to JC. It's the real one.
Real ones know that Chavez should have been the lead. Okay, he wasn't blonde enough for y'all. I don't know.
That's it. That's exactly it.
But
that's exactly it.
Now,
but yeah, Britney Spears went on and on. Well, they're taking them certs out, of course, of the book.
Yes,
and
them certs is hot. The certs is hot. Got me seeing why Justin's team was holding the book hostage. Like we try to get some things out of there. That was my first time where I said, because those remember that Justin's team was trying to get an early look at the book, and I'm like, now what? Now what is he hiding? Turns out he was hiding a baby.
But we also have to remember, like, they were kids.
I think what makes it so fucked up to me in retrospect is then remembering how they framed it like Britney was the bad guy in that breakup. That's what's pissing me off. Because what was that video?
Cry Me a River.
Where it basically was like a Britney lookalike acting like she cheated on him.
Yo.
And I'm like,
she had her pelvic out and everything. I said, that's Britney.
That woman had to abort a child and was heartbroken, and you put out that video? That's
she was also cheating, though. She was cheating. They said she was cheating.
Who said she was cheating?
He was cheating. It just was a message. She cheated on Justin Timberlake. It's one of the certs.
Oh, okay. Was it after the report? I don't know. I'm just saying that, like, clearly there was no clear bad guy in this. That's what I'm saying. Like,
right. I think they both were very toxic and very messy. So I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty pretty excited about this book, and I will be buying it from Target or somewhere.
From Target specifically. I was like, oh, specifically Target? Okay.
Target, please.
Run her a deal.
Deal. I'm in Target if I'm sad, I'm going to Target.
Target is healing.
Yo,
I'm
going to
absolutely
Target.
Healing. And low key, it's one of my favorite cheap dates. There's nothing more romantic than strolling through the aisles of Target, just picking things out with a boy you like. Like it's just It's just a good time. Everybody leaves with groceries. It's great.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's very cute. You get a Starbucks first to start off your journey. You stop at Starbucks. Yep.
You go through the housing section. And you work your way
and
around.
Then I leave the housing section at the end because that is like
that's where you get the most.
That's it.
That's where things get down.
Yeah, that's the finale. That is, we're in there for 45 minutes trying to figure out, do I need this throw pillow?
Smell like all the candles. You know us.
Absolutely.
But speaking of dating,
first of all, to whoever sent me the Insta story talking about Scottie go to hell,
what?
I need you.
What is the story? What are you talking about?
The Insta story, because I posted my reel about me enjoying, me just enjoying dating. I like to enjoy a little date here and there, and I have fun. Nah, some of the girls wasn't having that. The girls had literally posted it on Insta story, like IG stories, and was like, Scottie go to hell, respectfully. There's no way that I'm having fun doing this shit.
Y'all can't send my friend to hell. Please stop. Okay? Let her transcend it the way she's supposed to, please.
The way that y'all have me rolling in the comments.
Funny, I did not realize they had came for you.
Right. But yeah, we had a good time talking about that.
Yeah, the feedback has been, as always when we talk about dating, so amazing. The single girls have been loving our response, our odes to them. If nothing else, on my end, on my clip, they've been thanking us for reminding them that this era can be romanticized and that it can be a good time. Okay, y'all were active in our DMs about our dating episode last week. So we asked the listeners to share some red and green flags while dating, and this is what y'all had to say. Let's get into it.
A green flag is when he's open and honest about his financial situation. I don't need a whole financial breakdown, but damn, I don't really want any financial surprises. Like, have you been paying your taxes, nigga? I get that completely. Yeah. I get that. That's a green flag.
Because you marry into that. A unique one that y'all said is a green flag is if he returns his... I'm sorry, I stopped because that unique. I can't. If he returns his shopping cart at the grocery store, that's definitely a green flag. I guess versus being one of the hoodlums that leaves it next to the car in the parking lot or in the street so it could dent somebody else's car. When the gust of wind carries it too harshly. That's you, Scottie?
It's me, the hoodlum. No, I do. No. I take it back sometimes. It depends how far it is. Like, Stop and Shop, it's dependent on on the places. Target has one every, aisle, I feel like. So you can go put it back. If it ranges between 5 aisles, I don't know what to tell you, baby. Y'all gonna have to hope that the wind carry it that way. This is a cute one, a little physical one. Good, clean teeth is a green flag. I guess if you take care of your teeth, you can take care of this. But,
you want to make sure he goes to the dentist, got none of that gingivitis, no plaque. No dead teeth. Ooh.
Like, you need to go to the dentist.
Yeah, I just want to remind y'all that it's twice a year.
And sometimes go more than that. If you feel a little tingle, take your ass to the dentist.
If everything is working properly. Just go for 2 routine cleanings.
Get your ass in the dentist.
Please, y'all. Teeth matter.
And I know it's terrible. I think that's the worst doctor.
I hate the dentist.
I hate the dentist.
Hate it. Another green flag, the last one we'll say, is kind to kids, animals, and service workers. That is very important. I believe we were talking about tipping and how they treat the waiters and stuff. Like, that is absolutely important, how they treat people. Yes.
Absolutely. I watch all of that. Now, let's do some red flags.
And y'all know y'all submitted more red
My
flags
favorites.
than green flags because y'all chaotic. Everybody's like, I don't know about the green ones, but I can tell you some red ones.
But I can tell you what the red ones, but I don't want.
I can tell you what I do know.
Right. Start it off, Sylvia. What's the first one?
Speaking of how people treat people, hating them. Somebody said if he hates his mom, red flag. Now, I will say there are some exceptions, but for the most part, if he's just whatever with his mom for no reason, like that is telling. 'Cause I think it speaks to how he treats women. Like if the woman who birthed him, if he like literally went through that, if he can't find compassion for her, baby, you out of luck. I agree.
Yeah. If he can't set boundaries with his mother, that's this the 1A to that. If he can't set boundaries with his mother, run, sis, please run. Now, to this, I say, that's tough. We should all have boundaries with our moms. And as somebody who is trying to find boundaries with their mom, it's a tough one. But I can see how that's a red flag. Do the next one.
If he's keeping track of all the things he's ever done for you, that man is a walking red flag. I think that's a new one. That's a sneaky one. But I'm not against it. Like, I do think that it's like something about keeping the tally and holding it over your head is That's manipulation. That's emotional manipulation.
Absolutely.
Don't do something nice and use it, weaponize it.
And there's a lot of niggas that do that. Yeah. They just keep the list itemized just in their mind of all the things that they have done for you that I guess was against their will. I'm assuming.
Because if it's not out of the kindness of your heart, why is it like a...
Exactly.
Why we got beef about it? I don't understand.
Okay. Let's see. If he's lying about little shit, he's definitely lying about the big shit.
Oh. That's a hot take.
And it's Scorpio season. Look at that. So welcome to Scorpio season, guys. Look at that. Woo! I think we're right on brand. Woo! One thing about us.
Wow.
Okay.
That was a good... Cam. Sorry to all the Scorpios who cut a wild straight just now, but she's not wrong.
Much respect. No. Hell no. Ain't wrong at all. So, yeah, if they're lying about everything to me. If you're a liar,
now
you're a liar. You lie. And I'm not talking about like...
There's a difference between being a liar and telling a lie once in your life. Like, sometimes people lie out of panic. I'm not saying that's right. You should still hold them accountable.
Yeah, that's true. People who lie out of panic, I find...
You know, like, you can tell they're not good at it. Like, sometimes people just...
Right. But the ones that are good at lying, baby, they're liars.
They do it for a living, baby.
Baby, every week they clock in. You hear me? So they do it for... This is a career journey.
It's a career journey, and it's why half of our red flags are about lying. I'm like...
Right, because everybody...
are like, lying about little shit, lying about big shit. Dating a liar, so now the first lie I hear, I'm out. If he get...
I'm out.
Like, okay, y'all, I get it. The niggas is lying to y'all, and it's not good. So yes, gaslighting, manipulation, all of that.
Ooh, this is a good one.
But yes, what...
Financially irresponsible behavior. If you don't have it, you don't have it. Please don't front trying to impress people. Girl.
Just tell the truth.
It's okay to not have it. Now, I understand you not wanting to be clowned for not having it. And if you're around those type of women...
Look at your type. Question it. Look at your choices. Look at your decisions.
That's all I ask. But if you stop living beyond your means, please. Because I would hate to be at a dinner and nigga take me out to a night. I saw that on Twitter. Nigga took the girl out for a nice dinner. Nice, beautiful dinner. He's telling the story on the podcast and he don't have the money. He didn't know it was that expensive. Now, why, when you know, you got to look at your account. You got to log in. You log in every day to check your account. That's how I know you may not have it. You check your account every day. You mean to tell me you don't say, let me see how much?
Check their account every day. And they don't check the restaurant menu prices. Research, gentlemen. Stop being lazy about the date and shit.
Right.
Look into it. It's going to backfire on you.
So she's ordering food, thinking it's regular, getting her a surf and turf. I
hate to see it.
And he's texting his friend, like, yo, can you please Zelle me some money, like, right now? I don't have it.
A text like that from one of your homeboys?
I'd be like, yo, why didn't you do that? Why? I mean, I would have sent the money because I would you know what I'm saying?
To see you go out like that, but I would also, you would hear it from me.
Right. What are you doing taking her to this restaurant? Why are you doing that? Also, this is what I say for the girls. Please, and just for the people who date, bring some money with you, though. Don't think that these niggas or whoever's taking you out got it.
Be able to get it if he don't
have
got
a backup.
Be able to get it.
Because I would hate for you to be in the kitchen with him washing dishes. So just take the money out here, pay for the date, and be on your way. Always have some money. You need to be making sure of the menu prices as well. Just make sure you got it. So yes, that's
Can
it.
I say something real quick? Because you unlocked the memory that I think I did.
What?
The one time I think I was on a date where that happened, and I say I think because I was in my early 20s and I realized that this young man tried to make it seem cute to do a dine and dash situation. Like, you know what we should do?
Not him trying to romanticize.
We should just
stealing.
Go. Have you ever dined and dashed before? Like, try to make it a
rom-com. This nigga looked at his account and said,
look at the prices and said, wow. Okay. Gotta go. Because we were definitely in New York City. Gotta go. Gotta get her out of here.
Let's blow this
But
I
will say
stand.
It's the most creative. 5 points for creativity. I will give him that. But definitely on my way, I said, this nigga don't got it. He don't got it.
He don't got it. He don't got it. That is insane. I would have. So wait, what did you end up doing?
I will tell you off. I will tell you off the record. I don't know what the statute of limitations are involved.
You dashed.
I wasn't finna pay. Let me tell you something. I said early 20s. I ain't have it either. Today, I would not do something like that. But you know me, always being cautious. I said, I'm gonna go first. You stay here.
Okay.
And I left. Mm-hmm. And I kept walking. I went to the subway. I left. That was the last time I saw that print.
That was it. You never
because
talked
I
to
was
him
like,
again.
Yeah, good. But I'm also not gonna get arrested.
Crazy.
You sit here and then you decide if you're gonna dash. I'ma leave.
Right.
Because that's crazy. But yeah, girl.
Listen, these red flags, we've all seen them and also experienced a lot of them. So it's good that we got to talk about that, but also we got to talk to Dr. Joy about red and green flags too.
Yes,
our favorite doctor, Dr. Joy from Therapy for Black Girls. We got to talk to her about romantic relationships and friendships and what they should look like in a healthy way. I was excited. We got to talk to her at CultureCon and we got the audio.
We did. We secured the audio. We secured the tape. I know a lot of you guys were in our DMs. Yeah. We're like, we want to hear it. We want to see it. We weren't there. We couldn't get to New York. The tickets sold out literally the day we announced it, which is true. So I'm so happy we get to share it with you guys today. I love this conversation we had with Dr. Joy about friendship and just social anxiety and just, being a creative and getting through. Like, there's so much you can take from this conversation.
Yeah, let's get into it. This is me and Sylvia with Dr. Joy at CultureCon NYC 2023. Oh, by the way, if you're watching on YouTube and haven't subscribed yet, stop what you're doing. Stop now and hit the subscribe button. All right, back to the interview. Welcome to the Scottie and Sylvia Show, live at CultureCon New York City 2023. I'm Scottie Beam. I am just happy to be here, baby.
Yeah.
My hair done gave up on me, but I didn't give up. You hear me? I'm still here. Go ahead.
And I'm Sylvia Obell.
I know that's right.
And I am happy to be sharing the CultureCon stage with you for the first time.
I know.
We have done it individually, but never together.
Yes.
And we have a special guest Our fave.
Our fave. She's my favorite doctor, Dr. Joy, a licensed psychologist, the founder of Therapy for Black Girls podcast. Give it up for that podcast.
Hey,
y'all. She be reading us all the time, child.
Child, I can only listen to you like every week. I don't have therapy because it's too much.
Absolutely.
You my therapist be jumping me back to back. It's crazy.
I got it. I get you.
For real. So Sylvia and I spend a lot of time, in relationships, period. We are best friends, but we are also partners in business. So we would love to start it off first and foremost, okay? How many people in here think they have social anxiety? Jeez, we out here, ain't we?
And y'all can't hear? Well, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you.
Remember that. Dr. Joy, I want you to, define what social anxiety is first.
Yeah, so huge kudos to you if you have social anxiety and you are here at CultureCon.
Absolutely.
Right? So give yourself a round of applause. So when we think about social anxiety is like a persistent and irrational fear of social situations. So you're always worried about embarrassing yourself. You're afraid that you're going to be judged. And it often means that people don't go out to social situations like a CultureCon.
Okay.
Yeah, and I feel like, especially with places like CultureCon where you're navigating a big crowd, it can stress a lot of people out with that issue. But people come here because, you want to network, you want to have creative community, you want to be able to, meet your faves, all of these things. But what advice do you have for the introverted, quiet creatives who are trying to network and make new friends, but are battling that social anxiety?
Great question. So one, I'd encourage you to give yourself a time limit. So a lot of times we get in our head and we're like, oh, it's going to be so overwhelming, I'm not going to go. So give yourself 1 hour. So say, I will go for 1 hour, and if it feels too overwhelming, then I will give myself permission to leave. The second thing is to do your research before you get there. So a lot of people have been talking about coming to CultureCon. They're doing their Get Ready With Me outfits. So you can scroll the hashtags to see who's going to be there and do a little bit of research on the people that you think that you want to go and meet. And then the third thing I would say is to take breaks as you need to, right? So if you need to step outside, go and look at the water, do some meditation, put on a quick podcast episode, take the breaks when you need it.
Wow. Oh, I love that. And let's talk more about friendships, okay? Because the book that you put out, Sisterhood Heals, I read it front to back, you understand? One of my favorite parts is when you talk about attachment styles, because all the girlies have been talking about attachment styles for romantic relationships. They also exist in friendships. Can you please go and dive a little deeper into what that means?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, Scottie, because I do think we think about attachment style only as it relates to romantic relationships, but our attachment styles really show up in all of our relationships. And so attachment style really refers to the ways that you connect with other people that is largely based on your relationships with your early caregivers. So if you have a secure attachment style, you likely had caregivers who were responsive. When you cried, they came, they told you it was okay to be sad, all of those things. If you have a more insecure attachment, maybe you were kind of left alone when you cried, or people said, oh, she'll figure it out, she'll get it together.
Caribbean parents.
Shout out to my first Gen Africans, too.
Yeah,
I see you.
Not a bad thing, not a bad thing. So I do want to give you hope, because your attachment style can change. So there is not a lost hope if you have a more insecure attachment style. But a more insecure attachment style often means that we are anxious in relationships. So we're always afraid that people will leave us. We're afraid that our needs won't be taken seriously. And then in friendships, that shows up because we might be a little more standoffish, or we're a little less hesitant to even try to make new friends.
Wow. The amount of you who told on your parents just now in this audience, I just want you to know.
Very telling.
That God saw you. But, I think Scottie mentioned this book. We love it so much. She called me and was like, you got to read this book. And I'm like, Dr. Joy sent it to me too. I got to read it. But I think your podcast is so popular. And I think as creatives, we're often trying to figure out how to take things to the next level, or what an extension of the brand looks like. What made you decide to write your book and then, like, in addition to the brand you were building with your podcast?
That is a great question. You know, I really feel like so much of the foundation of therapy for Black girls is sisterhood, right? Just this morning, I've met no fewer than 3 sisters who have found their therapists in the Therapy for Black Girls directory.
Absolutely. I too.
Yes. Yes. And so, you know, I think it's really important to like make sure that you are getting out of your own way, because there's something that you are sitting on that all of these people may be waiting on. And so it really felt important for me to kind of give language to what I think happens between Black women, right? Like the way that we stand in the gap for one another, the way that we rally for one another when there's an injustice. And so I really feel like sisterhood is incredibly powerful.
What section was hardest for you to write?
Ooh. I think the section about making new friends was really hard to write, because I think there's so much hesitance, right? Like we kind of feel like you grow up with these people, and so these are my set friends. But the truth is that you have not met all the people that will love you yet. And so I think it's really important to keep yourself open to these
Drake held us.
Say that again. Say it again one more time for the people in the back.
One more time. So you have not met all the people who will love you yet. So make sure you're open to new experiences.
Yeah, Drake held us back with that one.
He really did us
Now
wrong.
that we're seeing.
Ooh, that light-skinned man's caused a lot of drama this weekend. We're not going to get into it.
Child.
We're going to let the girls fight online.
Okay.
We're going to stay out of it. But speaking of red flags, what are some friendship green, yellow, and red flags that people can look out for while networking and trying to make friendships in this community? Because I think the hard thing about doing it as creatives is like, you want to make sure they're genuine, right? And not like just for a business op or for like somebody trying to come up or, you know, for the wrong intention. So what are some green, yellow, and red flags?
So I think a red flag is somebody who is always asking something of you, but is never available when you need something. That is a huge red flag, I think. That's huge, especially as a creative, right? If you're well connected, you don't want people just using you. A green flag, though, I think is people who volunteer to help you without even asking, right? Because I think for a lot of us, asking for help is really difficult. So people who volunteer
You
their
don't have to
resources-
read me like that. Dr. Joy is talking. Yeah.
But people who volunteer to help you without you even asking, I think is a huge green flag. I think a yellow flag, let me think. I think people who are just not available when you call, right? So of course, many of us are busy, but you're not busy all the time, right? So I would be cautious with somebody who's like super unavailable.
Some of us will hit the notify anyway button no matter what D&D is on.
I will notify you anyway. It is important. Answer the phone. I do not care, okay? You're going to see that I text you.
We'll call that a yellow flag, just a yellow one. We're not going to read it.
I love you. Yeah, so also, friendships, I want to make sure that we talk about being friends to ourselves. How can we be better friends to ourselves?
This is such a good question. I think really being good friends to yourself and anybody else really requires some self-assessment, right? So knowing who you are, what are your icks, so to speak, the things that really light you up, that you're really passionate about, but the things that also are a huge turnoff to you, I think is really important so that you know that when you're putting yourself out there for friendships, like what kinds of things are going to feel fulfilling to you and what kinds of things are going to feel like, you know, a turnoff.
Yeah. And are there like, I think a lot of times when we're trying to find like who our friends we're compatible with, I think when you're younger, it's a lot about like, oh, who likes to party like I like to, or who likes the same music, or we bond doing, you know, ratchet stuff with our ratchet friends. But as we get older, sometimes you have to learn what are the healthy things like I should be looking forward to know if I'm compatible with somebody to be their friend.
So I love this question because we actually developed a quiz for you to figure out what style you are in your friendship circle. So if you go to sisterhoodheals.com/quiz, you can decide whether you are the wallflower, the peacemaker, the firecracker, or the leader in your circle. And all circles need all of these roles to function. And it's not about like, oh, this is a stagnant role, but it is more about how can you ask for and receive support in your circle. Because I think the leader often is the one who's making all the plans for the group chat. Like when y'all go to dinner, she puts her card down and everybody Venmos her money later, right? And that can be great, but sometimes the leader gets resentful because it feels like nobody else is picking up the slack in the group. So it really is important for you to know how you show up and how the group can support you in that way.
Which role do you think you are in the friend group?
You are funny. You know that? Hell. I am
curious. I
am the firecracker, yes. I loved how Dr.Joy looked directly at me.
She said the firecracker.
When she's the firecracker.
Some of those groups
and
have
which one
that.
are you?
It was subtle. I thought I was being subtle.
Oh, please, Dr.Joy. Which one are you? Sylvia, hello.
Me?
Yeah.
You know, it's funny because the scenario she just said, I literally just did
You
that
just
last
did
week.
it?
At the dinner, I was like, oh, maybe a leader. Also
Yes.
the peacemaker, perhaps. I think I like, wait a minute. We are in public.
Yes, girl. Peace. That's what you make, girl.
I try to be diplomatic and bring us together when people
Yes.
You know what? This brings us to the next question about conflict.
Let's move on. Let's move on.
Because funny you should bring up conflict. You know, I think a lot of the key to longevity in friendships is navigating rough patches.
Yeah.
You know, as a peacemaker myself, I often try to get the girls to stop, you know, to see each other's point of view. Because that's what a peacemaker does.
Yes, they do.
She doesn't fan the flames. You know, she doesn't make it funny. We listen to each other.
Absolutely.
But what are some tips, on all seriousness, for friends who may be going through a rough patch and also trying to figure out, is this friendship worth keeping or is it one to let go of? Because I'm starting to feel like people are letting go of friendships a little too easy for my liking.
Because nothing is worse. I don't care. Romantic breakups, child, they hurt. But nothing hurts worse than a friendship breakup. Nothing. So, yes, please, help me.
So you asked what my favorite part was to write, or the most difficult part was the making new friends. My favorite part of the book to write was the chapter called "The Intimacy You're Looking For is on the Other Side of the Difficult Conversation You're Avoiding." Because,
shit.
I feel like it's chapter 6, y'all. I think that's chapter 6. Y'all go get the book.
Oh, my God.
I don't know.
Wow.
I feel like this is it.
I know,
because what
gagged.
Some of you are avoiding the conversation right now.
Y'all looked away
quickly.
Don't avoid the conversation, y'all. But I think what often happens is that, like, at the first sign of, like, distress or conflict, so many of us have not been taught to resolve conflict that we're like, oh, I'm out. Like, this is too much. Like, she tripping. It's too much going on. As opposed to saying, ouch, that really hurt me. I wonder if we can talk about how that felt. Right?
I'm saying y'all hurt.
And I think this comes up a lot. What I've been seeing a lot on social media is these conversations around jealousy in friendships, right? Like, oh, I can't be friends because she's jealous of me. That could be true.
Girl.
But more often, what's happening is that y'all have not had a conversation about some difficult thing that has happened, right? So jealousy is a normal human experience, just like any other emotion. It's what you do with the jealousy that really is the dictator. And so being able to have a conversation about, I'm really happy for you, and I'm also really sad that these things are not happening for me, is a really mature thing to be able to do.
Wow. Yes. Well, also, are friendship breaks necessary? Like, if it's too much going on right now, we arguing, we can't come to a common ground. Can we take a friendship break?
Yeah, I think a lot of us take breaks anyway. We just don't announce it, right? So, you know, when you are not responding to text messages or you're like, okay, I need a little bit more me time, I think that is totally okay, right? To deal with whatever you have going on. I think the mistake we make, though, is to ghost people. Right? We don't let people know, like, hey, I'm struggling with my mental health right now. I'm going to take a step back, or things are really busy at work, and so, you know, I'll catch up with you in a month. Instead, we just, like, stop responding, or we don't, you know, respond to their emails, and then people are left coming up with stories in their heads, and we know when we get in our own head, we make it way worse than the reality of a situation.
Right, because we're trying to avoid, especially people like me, I don't want to argue. I'm not in the business of arguing with you, especially friendships. Like, I'm not And I have an anxious attachment style.
But does it have to be an argument? Or could it just be a conversation?
Yes. I would like a little conversation. But yeah, I don't. Yeah, you read me. Go ahead, girl. Go ahead and read the next question, because I'm trying.
But no, I'm cracking up because it was really about to be a session. I was going to scoot my chair back.
I was going to cut it short.
Like, you want to lie down on this couch or work it through? But, you know, I think when you bring up things like you shouldn't ghost and, like, terms like jealousy, I think sometimes we reach for, like, psychological terms that we hear buzzwords, but I feel like a lot of the time on the apps, I see people use them in the wrong way.
Please.
Whether it's boundaries or trauma or triggers, like people see these words, but they don't actually go to the therapy session, and so they just be using them how they want.
On Twitter. Yes.
On X, on that
on
app.
The X.
On the X. Yes, on the Instagram, lying. On the that clock app.
Yes.
That one too. What are some of the ones that you see the most misused and that you feel like we need a little correcting on?
Yeah. Get into it, Dr. Joy, please.
let me
just
unleash
a few things. So, yes, I completely agree with you. And I feel like it's a double-edged sword because I think so many people have been looking for language to describe like their internal experiences, right? And so now you see all these terms and it feels like, oh, there's finally a name for it. But I think a lot of times we are misusing it. So the first one is a narcissist.
Oh, baby.
Sis.
Everybody is a narcissist.
Sis.
Please.
And I'm like, it can't be.
It can't be, and it is not. So it's okay for people to just be jerks. Can we just call the behavior what it is? Right? The percentage of people who actually meet the criteria for a narcissistic personality disorder is like so slim. So, and narcissists will not tell you that they're narcissists. So anybody's questioning, like, oh, am I a narcissist? You are not, because narcissists don't question. But it's okay to describe stuff just as being like jerkish behavior as opposed to labeling everybody as a narcissist. The other one that I see often misused is trauma bonding. So this idea that you have a trauma and I have a trauma and we bond about the experience of having trauma, that is not accurate. So trauma bonding actually means that somebody who's been in like an abusive situation develops an emotional attachment to their abuser, right? So like a Stockholm syndrome kind of thing. Yep. It doesn't mean that you just bond over your trauma experiences.
So like you bonding over daddy issues. That's not trauma bonding.
That's not trauma bonding.
Yeah, okay.
No.
Got it.
You got one more? You got one more, Dr. Joy?
The other one is gaslighting.
Please.
Oh, give her the time.
Y'all was waiting.
Y'all
was waiting for that one. Y'all was waiting.
Get the collection plate going. Get the collection plate together.
And
he about to pass the collection
all
plate.
the time. He is probably the gaslighter of life. The way that he stood up. Go ahead.
He said she ain't no thief.
So gaslighting is not just a regular everyday lie, right? So gaslighting is like a repeated behavior of somebody causing you to question your experience of reality. So somebody just lying to you or being dishonest is not actually gaslighting.
Wow.
Just normal lying.
Also bad.
Bad. I didn't say it was good. I just meant you're roundabout lying. Fuck boys, not narcissists. Let's just go back. Let's just take it back a step.
Go back to the basics.
That's difference. Also, I want to talk about finding balance between solo time and spending time with your friends. I think, to distract myself, I might go out with my friends a lot because I don't want to spend that solo time. So tell me, how can somebody do that?
I feel like this is a beautiful invitation, Scottie.
Oh.
Because I think a lot of times we are so uncomfortable with what will happen if we're quiet and still that we just throw ourselves into friends, we throw ourselves into projects. But we do need to get quiet so that we can deal with whatever it is that we're trying to avoid. And so one of my favorite solo activities is journaling. So being able to just free write, like what's coming up? Like if I give myself 10 minutes to just feel whatever it is I'm uncomfortable about, like what is actually going to be recorded on this piece of paper. And I am a fan of like old school pen to paper writing and journaling as opposed to a notes app.
Same.
Yeah,
same.
So anybody who listens to our podcast knows that we like to end with a before we let you go. And when we have a guest, we like to ask them to take on the affirmation. And I would like to kind of try to keep it in the theme of perhaps advice you may have for millennials who are tired of living in unprecedented times. Because every Gen Z too, I know y'all here, I'm here, but I feel like every time we look around, something is falling. We're in a recession. We're in a friendship recession. We're in an actual recession. The price of eggs is crazy. There's war happening in Israel. Like it's nonstop.
Oh, Lord.
So what is something that we can have to leave everybody with to uplift us?
Ooh, I think that's a hard question. I think what I will say is that times may be tough, but so are you. And so it's okay to have a difficult day, but to not let that define your entire experience, that you have been through difficult times before, and you can get through this difficult time as well.
Yes.
I don't know how tough, child, but we're going to get through.
We're going to get one thing about black folk.
We're going to get through, baby.
We're used to it, so we're going to get through it. Yes. So thank you so much for joining us today. Where can the people follow you?
Yeah, you can follow me all across line at Hello Dr. Joy, and you can grab your copy of the book, Sisterhood Heals, at sisterhoodheals.com.
Love.
Oh, guys, make sure you listen to the Scottie and Sylvia show wherever you get your podcasts. Okay, a new episode drops every Thursday. The YouTube drops on Friday. Y'all killing me.
The visuals.
The visuals drop on Friday. Y'all kill me every time. I'm at Scottie Beam.
I'm at Sylvia Obell. And thank you guys for joining us today.
And shout out to the radio team.
Woo, girl, what a conversation. That was so fun. I love reliving that.
I loved it. It was such a beautiful moment. Now,
it's such a good crowd. Such a good crowd.
Right. Amazing crowd. Everybody was participating, interacting. I loved it all. But I will say, Dr. Joy and that affirmation girl, yeah, we tough. I totally understand. We are tough, and there are tough times, and we will rise above this. Yes. Absolutely. We tired.
Yeah.
We tough and tired. And sometimes you're just like, I don't know.
TNT.
I don't know if this is gonna be the one. Right. This is I'm coming, Elizabeth. Like it may be one of those.
For the Gen Z kids, that's a Stanford and Son.
For the Gen
reference.
Guys, I'm so sorry.
Scottie's old.
Stanford and Son, look it up. Mm-hmm. I'm not that old, but I love that part.
He's having a heart attack.
Yeah,
I just wanted to give them the context. Go ahead.
Because that's how I feel, though. I feel like Sanford all the time. Whenever like a big thing happens, I'm like, well,
my chest.
This is gonna be the one. This is it. I'm on my way.
Yeah.
And then God be like, girl, you tougher than this. Stop. You gonna make it. You gonna be all right. And I'd be like, all right. Well, but I totally get it. I love her affirmation. So, before we let you go, we always want to close with a few words of affirmation that held us together over the past week, because we are holding on by a thread. Yes. Especially this past week. What you got for the people this week, Sylvia?
Yeah, no, I think it's exactly what I was saying. I think it's that, while it is important to find your strength and to obviously survival is the name of the life game, to be in the land of the living is nothing but a survival game, unfortunately. But I do think that it's okay to admit when you just don't got it, because this is a lot. I think the main thing I want to leave out with is this is a lot. What we're dealing with is a lot. If you're wondering to yourself, why do I feel so tired? Why do I feel so overwhelmed? Why do I feel so whatever? And you're being hard on yourself. I know I do that to myself. I'm like, why am I so tired? Why is my body in pain? Like, why am I disoriented? Like, why is my anxiety so high? Like, why am I waking just up with anxiety? And I'm trying to pinpoint it as if there's not a million things happening across the world
happening at one time
that we are absorbing at all times. So literal wars going on in our homes, in our countries, and internationally, and we don't know how any of it's going to impact all of us. And it just seems like every time you have to learn more. Like I said, all of what we said at the top. So my thing to you is it's okay to ask for help or to take a break if you can. Right. How about you, Scottie?
I love that. Okay, mine would be find your place in the revolution. It's not going to look the same for everyone. I think a lot of people are trying to figure out what they need to do, what they need to say during times like this, how they can help, what ways they can help, how it, they try to mirror what other people are doing and it's just not working for them, or it's not, coming through the same, or your words aren't being heard, or find where you are comfortable. And your words matter, your actions matter, what you decide to stand on, business matters. It's just, it all matters. Just find where you are at least somewhat comfortable in this revolution. And that's all I'll say. I know that we all want to be liberated. We all want to feel liberated. And we're all searching for liberation. So I just want you to find your place there. And that takes time. It takes a lot of time. So yeah, that's what I'll say what my affirmation is. But in the meantime, make sure you keep up with the show online using the hashtag Scottie and Sylvia Show. And make sure you come back for more of the Scottie and Sylvia Show, because we do it all for you.